Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Daily Analysis. In this video, we'll discuss NVIDIA stock price movement for today and try to make an assessment for rest of the week using technical charts, fundamentals, and economic data analysis. We'll also take a look at some CI stock. Now, let's get started. You see NVIDIA stock chart for today on your screen. So Nvidia is down about 6.7% today. So another tough day for Nvidia stockholders. But it's not a surprise for me because this correction was due for so long. Let's take a look this file that I went over with you guys over the weekend. I showed you this file over the weekend. So at this point, Nvidia is at 118.11. It's still 24.39% up from the announcement date. So just before the announcement, Nvidia was 94.95. If you compare with the last cycle, you see that after second week, Nvidia started going down. So that's why I made a comment in my last video that after the second week, I see some slowdown or correction in the Nvidia stock. But the last time we just noticed about 4 or 5% correction. But this time we see more correction happening in the third week. Now the next question is how far below Nvidia can go. We'll do this evaluation in this video. Just bear with me. Now let me show you another file that I also went over with you guys a few days ago. So this is the file I went over with you guys in my last video. I showed you this data that in the last cycle after 1 month, Nvidia started going down. So similar behavior I was expecting in this cycle as well. So as of Friday, this was the situation, right? So starting today, we see more drop. So the graph should look like this, right? Further below from here. So if we consider the last quarter data, we can expect more drop to happen in the second month. But we should not be too nervous or too upset because before the earnings, historically speaking, Nvidia showed the upward momentum. So in this quarter as well, probably after the drop happens in this month, we may expect that Nvidia should bounce back before the earnings. Let's take a look at the forward PE for Nvidia and SMCI. I updated this table with the latest forward PE for Nvidia, Palantir, SMCI, and AMD in this table. As of this point, Nvidia forward P is 43.74. You remember in the last video I made a comment that Nvidia forward P has not been that high in last 5 weeks, and whenever Nvidia forward P is above 50, it's a very risky buy, and around 40 will be a very attractive buy for Nvidia. So let's calculate forward P of 40 translate to how much Nvidia stock price. I did this calculation in this file. Let me highlight with a different color, make it blue. So that gives me 108. So at the forward P of 40, Nvidia stock price is 108. So around 108 will be a very good and attractive buy for Nvidia. I'm not sure Nvidia can come down to this level or not. But if it does, then it will be a very good buy point. And regarding the SMCI, the forward P is 26.49. It looks to me that based on the forward PE, at this point, SMCI is not a very bad buy. Can it go down? Yes, it can go down, but eventually it should go up before the earnings. And you take a look in last 5 weeks, SMCI has been below 25, for example, here. So 24.64 would be a very attractive buy for SMCI. And that should translate to how much SMCI stock price. Let's calculate. So I did the calculation in this file. I highlighted with the blue color. So that gives 769. Very attractive point to buy SMCI. Again, I'm not sure SMCI can go down to this level in next few days or not. If it does, I consider it a good buy. Let's go back to the Nvidia stock chart. So last 5 days, Nvidia is down 11%. Last 1 month, 10.9%, and last 6 months is still 139% up. Even after 13% correction in last few days, Nvidia is still up 139%. So this chart speaks for itself, right? Nvidia is still up 139%. So there was some correction due. It happened just now, 13%, and there's more potential to go further down. Let's take a look the best and the worst case in terms of the Nvidia downside potential. So I did this projection probably a week or two ago, and I shared this data with you guys. For this quarter, I came up with this projection, the mean, average, and the maximum. You see that the minimum stock price I project is 97. Nvidia at this point is at 118, way above this level, right? For the worst case, it happens, Nvidia can come down to this level. But I'm not expecting Nvidia should go down to this level. And the best case is 112.63, and that was my average price. So if Nvidia goes down to this level, 112, again, it may not be a bad buy, right? But I'm guessing Nvidia should bounce back when it comes back to this level, 112. Regarding my positions, I bought some Nvidia stock on Friday and also more stocks on today. And also I bought SMCI stock. Let me show you. So you see my screen? I bought SMCI at 827 today and bought Nvidia at 120.88 today. And before that, I also bought SMCI at 875 sometime early this morning. And I also bought Nvidia at 124.15 early this morning. And also I bought some on Friday at 126.9. So at this point, I am in loss, but I'm not too much worried about it because I think that it should eventually come back before the earnings. Did you take a look at this news that says Nvidia CEO sold 95 million of stock? So this tells me that, the massive profit taking is happening. So these guys are selling their stock and following their footsteps, the other people are also selling their stocks. And it does not mean that the market is going into recession because the S&P and other major indices are not in a very bad shape. Let me show you. You see that S&P is down but only 0.31% and it was already up in the morning. And if you take a look Dow Jones, it was positive today. You see? So it is safe to assume that this is just a short-term correction happening on Nvidia that was due for some time. Let's take a look technical charts. I show Fibonacci levels on your screen starting from 0% to 100%. I selected 140.56 at the highest point and 79.98 at the lowest point at this time. Remember the last time I selected a different lowest point. But at this time, since the correction already more than 10% in last few days, so we need to take a look medium term outlook rather than short term outlook. Based on that, next level of support is 115.89. That is based on 38.2% Fibonacci retracement. And after that is 108.27. And that is equivalent to 50% Fibonacci retracement. And 108.27 is a very strong support level. I'm still positive Nvidia should not break 108.2 support level before the earnings unless some other event comes up that we cannot predict at this point. Just for example, Iran and Israel conflict that happened in the last quarter. or any financial crisis that we cannot expect at this point, or any major shortages on the AI chips. So those kind of events can bring Nvidia down below 108, but based on the current data, I do not expect Nvidia to go down below 108. Now let's take a look some news regarding Nvidia. So I went over all the news that I show on your screen. I do not find anything unusual regarding Nvidia that's bringing Nvidia down. So only thing I can think of at this time is just a correction or short-term profit taking happening from the investors, right? And that's what I see other analysts are also talking about. For example, this one that says Nvidia will continue to experience many corrections along the way. And this one, Nvidia's stock enters correction territory less than a week after hitting a high. Let's take a quick look on the economic calendar for this week. As I showed you on Friday, there was not much economic data due this week except the PC index that is due on Friday this week. So until Friday, no major economic data that can impact the market. So that's all about today's analysis regarding Nvidia and the assessment for rest of the week. As I showed you the historical data, it's not very unusual for Nvidia to go down in the second month after the earnings. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.